We're often told that just surviving is the goal, right? That if you can endure the fire, you've won. But what if that's not the whole story? What if that's just the starting line? That's what we're digging into today, how to move past just surviving and actually forge a real, honest-to-God breakthrough in your life. We all chase something: financial freedom, success, stability, whatever it is. But here's a wild thought, and it's really at the core of this whole thing. What if the very goals we're chasing to set us free are actually building a new kind of cage around us? A more comfortable one, for sure, but a cage nonetheless. It's a tricky paradox, isn't it? And this quote just hits the nail on the head. We work so hard to escape one set of problems, only to walk right into a brand new trap without even realizing it. And you know who the master trap builder usually is? It's us. So how in the world do you find the real exit? Well, the first step, and this is the absolute foundation for everything else, it isn't about changing your job or your city. It's about changing what's going on inside. The real journey out of the cage, it starts with some deep internal work and getting radically honest with yourself. So try thinking about your mind like a cup. And for most of us, that cup is overflowing all the time. If it's full of, let's call it dirty water, half-baked thoughts, old habits, all the noise from the outside world, there's no room for clear thinking. The whole idea here is to pour out your cup, to filter out all that gunk so you can finally get some real clarity. Okay, so how do you actually do that? It's a three-step process, really. First, you have to reflect. Look at your past, your wins, your failures, all of it. Then, and this is crucial, you learn to ask yourself the right questions. It's like becoming your own detective. And that investigation leads to discernment, which is just a fancy word for the wisdom to know which goals are actually for you and which ones are just another trap. And really, that's the billion-dollar question, isn't it? This ability to question yourself is the engine that drives everything. Without it, you're basically just reacting to whatever life throws at you. But with it, you can start to become an architect. And that brings us to the next big piece of the puzzle. So once you've laid that foundation of self-awareness, you can start shifting your focus from inside to outside. This is what we're calling the architecture phase. This is where you stop just wishing for a different life and you actually start building the systems that will make it happen. Now, there's a huge difference between what we'll call a lofty goal and a systematic goal. A lofty goal is just a wish, like, I want to be successful. A systematic goal, well, that's a project. It's backed by a real process. It's the difference between just dreaming and actually asking yourself, okay, am I mentally, physically, and financially ready to build what it takes to get there? So what tools do you need in your toolbox to build these systems? Well, you need a network, and not just an echo chamber of people who agree with you, but a real community that gives you constructive criticism. You need the funds, the resources. You got to have the right skill sets, and the glue that holds it all together is authenticity. That deep knowledge of yourself we talked about, which ensures the system you're building is one you can actually live. I mean, what a powerful idea. You don't just exist in the world systems. You don't just follow the rules. To really break through, you have to become an architect yourself, a system builder, creating your own path right in the middle of all the other structures around you. All right, so you know yourself and you're building your systems, but how do you actually show up in the world day to day? This brings us to the third pillar: performance. And this is a really fascinating look at the difference between your core character and the different roles you might consciously choose to play. This question cuts deep, doesn't it? Have you developed one core, unchanging character? Or have you developed a set of characters, different versions of yourself for different situations? And maybe more importantly, if you have, was that a conscious choice or did it just happen? And just when you think you know the right answer, you get this twist. We're always told that being the same person no matter who you're with is the peak of authenticity. But what if that's not always true? What if being effective, what if actually accomplishing your goals requires you to adapt how you show up? See, it all comes down to being intentional. Knowing how to present yourself differently in different contexts, that's a skill. The real danger isn't playing a role, it's getting stuck in a role you can't get out of. And at the end of the day, you have to have the courage to show your true core character, even if it completely shatters the role people expected you to play. So let's bring it all together. We've got the foundation of knowing yourself, the architecture of building systems, and the performance of choosing your roles. When you bring all three of those pillars together, you don't just end up with survival. You forge something so much stronger. You forge true resilience. Man, this line is just Profound. Getting through a tough time, winning that one battle, that's great, but it's not the end. The real war, the one that never stops, is the one that happens right between your ears. It's the war on the mind. And that's where true resilience lives or dies. And this right here captures the entire spirit of what we've been talking about. The whole point isn't to just clench your jaw and endure whatever comes your way. It's to use all that pressure, all those challenges, to become something new, something stronger. You're not just supposed to take the hits, you were forged to break through them. And so, let's end with a question to leave you with. Take a hard look at your life, your daily habits, your goals, the things you do. Are they just distractions? Are they just things that keep you busy inside that comfortable cage? Or are they the actual tools you are consciously using to forge your own breakthrough? The choice, as always, is yours.